walk through a transaction. And at any point in time, if you have a question, just stick your hand up. If I don't see you, just yell. It doesn't matter. And we'll ask questions as we go through here, and we'll throw out some tips and tricks as we go through as well. So first things first, we are already into the portal here, and under the search options, do you know that you're able to search by things more than just property address? You can search by MLS number, you can search by listing number, you can search by sale number. You can also use a wildcard character, which is a % sign if you need to leave something blank. I don't know if you attempted that or not. So Karina is going to search for property. We're going to use % sign, and then we're going to type dash 039 1710 1071. I'm sorry, 1710. And then 1071. So the dash will say to look for anything at all in front of this dash 039, and it'll find us.
So this is the sale number or the listing number. Instead of putting the L, the X, or the S, you can put the asterisk with none of the lettering.
All right. And this is our test listing that we created. So this, you can skip the word in it. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I do have some. Okay. The listing agent. You all know that you can put the listing agent in this screen, but you still have to enter it in the next screen. You have to fill out the agent's name in both tabs, or not. You don't have to put it in the listing side. You can put it in the second tab. But in order for us to see it and come over, it has to be in the sale tab here.
So this is your blank screen for your sale. I'm sure you've all labeled the screen. In this case, we're going to do an OB list our sale. All right. So you want to explain the outside broker box?
I know it says outside broker, but you have to actually select the change broker to enter the name in it. If you don't select it, we're doing it. We prefer that you do it. So even if you put it in the notes in the portal, you still have to. You don't have to put it in the notes. Outside broker is sufficient enough for our sake.
So a lot of other brokers, they don't just use outside broker as the outside broker. They put the broker name in there. That's why that section is titled outside broker.
But you have to actually put it in there. Unless we have to pay them, which normally is on a lease, the lease has to be put in there. If you want us to pay the outside broker, it should be in there. You should have the name, the address, the telephone number. And then our associates, that's where you would add your agent, regardless of listing or selling. Do we understand the portions and the units and everything that's clear? How do we love the portal now, though, versus the 203? Yeah.
As I'm sure some of you are aware, at some point you have to click the save button. It will not automatically save at any point in time. So you can click it whenever you want. It'll save what you put in, but it will not auto-save.
Do you have to do that on both the property data and the sale, or will, when you save it, does it save both of them?
It'll save whatever you put in, but if you're on the sales screen, I wouldn't leave the screen until you hit save just to begin the save.
Okay.
If you're going between the two screens, definitely hit save before you go to the next.
Okay.
The commission plan. My office has used 2 buttons. We're gonna get Josh to clean them up. Selling is if we only represent the selling side. Standard is if it's an in-house or we represent the other side. All these other ones, you can use them, they'll flow through, but we still have to manipulate them. now that you all have been getting that error, these are really improved as far as the transpose. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh, it automatically generates these. Good to know.
So referrals, if there was a referral on this deal, go ahead. You can put in a referral percentage if you want to put in there, let us know what it is. And then put all referral notes in the relocation note box. Don't put any referral notes in the sales comments box. Leave the two things separate.
That is a big change. We're changing that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so
Right now.
a referral is, any information, like I have an agent that gets a lot of referrals from Movoto, so I should put all that information in relocation notes?
Yes.
Okay,
As
not in
other-
sales comments.
As other, not client services, not customer care.
Okay, as long as it's right, okay.
And then under the sales comments notes, you can put in anything you want in there, any special instructions you just know.
Just a key note though, if you're not entering the outside broker's name in the outside broker, we don't need it in the sales comments. Save some time for yourself. Don't enter it.
That we're aware of is this notes tab. You can put any notes you want in here, but anybody can see it. So don't put, Eileen at 55 as a pain. But if you have notes that you want to associate, if you have notes you want to associate with a deal, you can put them in here. But remember that anybody can see it. We also have, if you click on the system button, which you can do, and you always wonder about, did I save it or not save it? This will log everything that you put in.
Oh.
So it'll tell you, like, I swear I saved it. You go in here and it doesn't show you that you changed something. That means you didn't save it. Real quickly for the reports, I think hopefully all of you have seen this transaction detail sheet. This is a completely unedited form at this point in time. This pretty much just shows you what you've entered in. If you want to double check your entries, if you want to have something to save to a PDF file. This does not replace a report itself. All right. So now let's get to the really important thing, which is the escrow tab.
Wait 1 second. Go back to the sales tab. Here, why don't you say what you
When we're on the listing side and we get a revision, we also need to know what the other broker, if their money changed, because we have to put both sides of that in. So we can't assume, if you say listing side changed to 2% instead of 3%, does that mean that the other side stayed the same, or they also revised it to 2%? So we do need both those changes for both our listing and the other broker.
Any questions on that?
Oh, not on that, but so if we go and revise the portal, do we have to email and notify you guys that we made a change, or do you automatically notify when something else is added? Or
We're not notified. It does help if you tell us,
okay.
but the verification also has a field. If you revised it, that's important to let us know so that we can go in there. We compare everything to that report of sale. That's why it's really important that you all look at it too, because if that report of sale is not matching that verification that you sent us, that's our trigger that, hey, something was revised.
Or if there was any missing information, like if for whatever reason the broker didn't say or your buyer didn't say, it's always important to make sure you go back and pull that report of sale before you verify, so that you know everything that we have is accurate.
And then the verification where it says 203 revised, does that mean like recently, or does that mean like ever?
At all.
Ever, okay.
It could be weeks before we even look at it again.
In general, when you submit the verification, any changes you have to make should already have been made in the portal.
that change should be made before the verification is made.
But you still want us to check that.
Yes.
Check it.
Other questions on the sale, please? Okay, all right, let's do escrow. All right, so now when you click on this escrow tab, normally you won't see a header number, but I was playing with the field a little bit, so there's one there. That'll be blank. There are some instructions on your desk that'll show you what the screen will look like. So what we're going to do is, if you're on the selling side of an office, you have an EMD, we're going to have you start entering the EMDs through the portal. So you don't have to start the sale at all. All you have to do is the same thing we did, is go to the property search screen, search for whatever property you want to search for, and when you find it, you go here, click on the escrow tab. You don't have to put in any agents, you don't have to put in any buyer information yet, so if you're in the getting deposit office, you don't have to worry about starting to create a half a sale. Go right.
There's some confusion. Anybody have questions on that? I see.
Oh, no, I was waiting.
So you say that we can like search for the property we're looking for, but if we're on the sales side, it's likely that that it's not gonna come up. So you wanna enter,
Right.
we
So
have
you have
to,
to create a listing.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Then how much of that listing do we need to create in order?
As much as
Just-
you know. So
Okay.
if you were creating a listing because it wasn't put in there on the selling side anyway, just fill in as much listing information as you can.
Could we just put like the address and the zip code and that would be enough, if that's all we know?
That's all you know. Start with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Most important thing is you need to get a record of the EMD created.
Okay, because we have a problem sometimes with our listings not coming up.
Okay.
You know, you say to search for them, and I can tell you my receptionist straight up, yeah, right. They end up putting it in, and sometimes it'll come in later, and then you end up with duplicates.
Okay.
So, you know, that's a concern too.
Okay. Do you search by MLS number too?
Yes,
For whatever the is listed? Okay.
sometimes they just don't come over.
Okay. If you have examples of those, send them to me, and we can try to see if we can figure out why.
Okay. All right.
All right, so escrow tab. The first thing you're going to pick, and I'm just going to follow my own directions here because you're going to follow yours. And a couple things to go over before we even get started is if you deposit an EMD for a different office, you have to notify that office that you deposited for them because they have to create the record. If they don't create the record, they can't edit the record. So it's going to be very important. I don't know if we do a whole lot of those, but it does happen occasionally. On an in-house deal, do not create a sale record if you're not going to be the person holding the EMD. So if you don't just start a sales side to get it going, otherwise a person holding EMD can't edit the record anymore. And then for transfers, it'll be at the end of the document. We probably won't go through those. We'll go through one as you need to do. Go ahead. So step one is to select deposited. Don't ever select payout. If at some point in time we'll probably be able to use this so you can notify us when it needs to be done, but for now, always pick deposited. The detailed date, that is going to be today's date unless you're specifically instructed to do something else. So just always is the date you're ready to get in. And ideally it's the same day as the check comes to the bank, but it doesn't have to be the case. Detail amount is the amount of check, so it's like in the escrow note, you can tell us any information that you want to tell us about this particular transaction, or you can leave it blank.
So for instance, if we're getting an EMD before the contract is totally out of line, you put that in there?
Yep, you can put the big note to put in. Escrow check type. So you'll log all checks and log all wires as well, so that we know to look for the wire. Sometimes, of course, it's just not going to tell you that you're expecting a wire. But if you know about it, then insert that in here. When we compare the bank record to what is entered in here, if Sarah notices that we have a wire and we don't have an entry in here, then she's going to try and track it down. It'd be easier to track down. The client check number is whatever the check number is in the check. The client check date, in this field, enter the date as it's written on the check. Regardless of when the agent got it, regardless of when you got it. Just put in the client check date in here. If it was 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago, such as like in the escrow received from field, enter the name as it is on the check. Doesn't matter who the buyer is, enter it in exactly as it is on the check. Under client check note, the only thing you have to put in here is whether or not it's a money order or a cashier's check. And that is so that we know if we can release the funds earlier than the standard hold period. The personal check, you can leave that blank if you want to type of, have a great one day in there you can get into. Bank deposit date is the date you actually deposited the check. So it could be yesterday if it was right at the end of the day, put that in there. Normally probably today. If for some reason there's one that we missed and Sarah calls you and say, hey, this is balancing, you can go back in and put out that, oh yeah, I deposited that 4 days ago. Bank deposit slip, that gets done there, just if you want to put a note in there, you can, it really doesn't matter. It could be one where you could say, yeah, Comerica was down yesterday, but I'm reporting it today if you want to do that. Then click on Save Escrow. And that's it, you're done. So once you start to use this, the old one will go away completely. Hope to ramp everybody up pretty quickly, and then work on all the quirks as we go along.
Deposits that are in the old